Good evening. The October 12th, 2022 council meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler is absent. Mr. Vieira?
I'm here.
Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Dr. Selly is absent. Mrs. Wittes?
Here. Would everyone at this time please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Long Branch Mayor, City Council, and Administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat all members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Madam Clerk, certification.
I hereby certify that the meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. At this time, we have our Italian American Heritage Month proclamation.
Yes, we do.
Thank
So,
you.
Giovanni, could you come up? So let me tell you a little bit about Giovanni. Giovanni says that he is in 8th grade at the Long Branch Middle School. A few things about him is that your favorite subject is?
Math.
Yay. And you like to play?
Soccer.
There you go. And you're also a member, and this one is wonderful, you're also a member of the,
NJHS,
which is?
the National Junior Honor Society.
There you go. Wonderful, Giovanni. Great, great. Why don't you read for us the proclamation?
Okay. Whereas in the 5 centuries since Christopher Columbus, a son of Genoa, Italy, first set sail across the Atlantic Ocean, countless individuals have followed the course he charted to seek a new life in America. Since that time, generations of Italian Americans have helped shape our society and steer the course of our history. During the Italian American Heritage and Culture Month, we recognize the rich heritage of Americans of Italian descent and celebrate their immeasurable contributions to our nation. And whereas Italian immigrants sought a better life in communities across this nation, including the city of Long Branch, New Jersey, where a distinct Italian enclave formed in the center of town, which includes many Italian-owned and operated businesses, an Italian Catholic parish, and several mutual aid societies assisting their community members as they navigated through the uncharted territory and new language and discrimination, and whereas bound enduring values of faith and family. Italian Americans have flourished in all areas of our public and economic life while preserving their proud Italian traditions. As proud service members, they have also defended the liberty of integrity of the United States since the Revolutionary War. And whereas today the legacy of these intrepid immigrants is found in the millions of American men, women, and children of Italian descent who strengthen and enrich our country. Italian Americans operate thriving businesses, teach our children, serve at all levels of government, and succeed in myriad occupations. Drawing on the courage and principles of their forebears, they lead in every fact of American life, dedicating their knowledge and skills to the growth of our country. Now, therefore, the mayor and city of the city of Long Branch and hereby proclaim that October 2022 is an Italian American Heritage and Culture Month in the city of Long Branch, and can call upon all residents to learn more about the history of Italian Americans. Presented this 12th day of October 2022.
Thank you, Giovanni. Very nice.
Good job.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. At this time, Mayor, would you like to discuss?
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everybody. I wanted to apologize that we ran a little late this evening in the workshop, but There's been a lot of concern about this weekend's shooting incident, and we want you to know that we take this very, very seriously in our community, and that this sort of behavior will not be tolerated. We are partnering with every resource available to deal with the issue, including the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, the Borough of West Long Branch, and other municipal, state, and federal agencies. These events are of highest concern for us, and simply put, public safety is our #1 priority. I would like to introduce our new Public Safety Director, Mr. William Broughton, who will elaborate more on these incidents. I'd like to add that Mr. Broughton has over 25 years of law enforcement experience, including he's the former chief and undersheriff of the Bergen County Sheriff's Department. He's also a former business administrator for almost 10 years in Teaneck, New Jersey. Mr. Broughton?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for those very kind words. Thank you, Council, for the opportunity to come before you this evening. And I'd like to say thank you as well to the community who has really given me a really, really warm welcome. I've met the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life here in Long Branch. So I'm very proud and I'm very happy to be here. Unfortunately, in my first week, it's been a very, very busy week. You know, I'm trying to meet everyone in the community, trying to meet everyone in the department, and we have these incidents to deal with, but we will deal with them, and we will deal with them effectively. I just want to give you an update on what we actually have going on. I want to tell you about what has occurred and what the department is actually going to do about it. Between October 8th and October 10th, we've experienced a series of shooting incidents in Long Branch and in West Long Branch. And we believe these incidents are related. The first incident occurred on October 8th at approximately 1:40 a.m. in the 300 block of Waverly Place. On that evening, we had two actors. Two actors were observed on Waverly Place. And those are the two individuals who targeted and fired shots at the two victims that presented themselves at the hospital. We have 3 persons in that particular incident in the 300 block of Waverly Place who suffered gunshot wounds. All were taken by private vehicles to the hospital. 2 were taken to Monmouth Medical Center, and the other one was taken to Jersey Shore Medical Center in Neptune. Officers that responded to the scene were able to recover shell casings at the scene, and they also recovered blood evidence at that particular scene, and they observed damage to a vehicle at the scene there. The second incident occurred on October 10th, and there was a series of incidents on October 10th creating this escalation that occurred. On October 10th at 2:35 p.m., in the area of Rockwell and Halliburton, there was a report of shots fired. 2 to 3 actors were observed in that area. No one was shot during that particular incident. Responding officers recovered shell casings at that scene. The third incident occurred on the same date, October 10th, at 9:51 p.m. It actually occurred in Long Branch. It occurred at the Quick Check it occurred at the Quick Check in West Long Branch. We had 1 victim from that shooting, and that victim was driven by personal vehicle to Riverview Medical Center in Red Bank. That incident is being investigated by the West Long Branch Police Department and by the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. Incident number 4 occurred on October 10th at 11:43 p.m. in the 300 block of Long Branch Avenue. We received a call of shots fired and no actors were observed. No one was shot in that incident either. Responding officers recovered shell casings at the scene. These particular incidents are of particular concern to the township, to the public safety department, and they pose an indirect threat to the public. It's not a direct threat. These individuals that are shooting and shot other people were targeting those individuals. It's not a random person going around our community shooting. The question is, what are we going to do about it? What we're going to do about it is we're going to take specific and effective action to deal with this issue. This is an issue that involves Long Branch. It also involves other communities. It's not just a Long Branch issue. It's a much larger issue. First thing we're doing is we're working with our law enforcement partners to apprehend these individuals responsible and to bring those individuals to justice. Our partners include the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, West Long Branch Police Department, Neptune Police Department, and Asbury Park Police Department. Also, we're working with other state and federal agencies on this issue. Members of our Detective Bureau, which includes the Juvenile Bureau, they've been assigned to work this case and have been working tirelessly to discover exactly the individuals involved and to bring those individuals to justice. Our Special Investigations Unit, who are specialists in street crimes, they're working closely with the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office and their detectives and are conducting joint patrols with our law enforcement partners throughout the city. I've authorized additional patrol officers for specific shifts to conduct high visibility patrols throughout the city to serve as a visible law enforcement presence to reduce public anxiety and to reduce the opportunity for these types of incidents to occur. Lastly, I'm in close contact with the superintendent of schools, Mr. Rodriguez, and we're working to ensure that safety measures are appropriately and properly implemented throughout the schools to ensure the safety of our student population. Unfortunately, because this is an active investigation, I have to refrain from how much information I can put out there publicly. But I can tell you we have a lot of information, and we will use that information to conduct this investigation in the most expeditious fashion possible. However, the citizens of Long Branch, the community, you can rest assured, you can rest comfortable in the fact that your Long Branch Public Safety Department is on this. This is our highest priority. And we will not fail at dealing with this issue. We will not faint. We will not blink. We will make sure that this is dealt with successfully. We'll use every resource to protect the community and to bring the perpetrators of these incidents to justice. However, we do need the help of the community. If there's anything out there that you've seen, if you see anything suspicious, if you know anything about these incidents, please call us. The community, you are our eyes and our ears. We need you. We need you to report things that are suspicious. Don't try to figure out whether it's suspicious. If it looks out of place, report it. call us immediately. You can remain anonymous in doing that as well. The numbers, if you see something and you want to report something, call our Detective Bureau, 732-222-1000, extension 2. Call the Monmouth County Crime Stoppers, 1-800-671-4400. Call me, the Public Safety Director, okay? 732-403-1038. That's my cell phone. Anytime, call me immediately if you see something. I'll be available after this meeting. If anybody wants to have a discussion with me, I'll be available to answer questions during the public session. If anyone wants me to come to meet with members of the community in smaller groups to have discussions, I will be available to do that. So thank you for your assistance, thank you for listening, and I'll be here and available.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you. We will now hold a public hearing for any objections to the issuance of a plenary retail consumption liquor license with theater exception, number 37, to New Jersey Repertory Company. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make, please come to the podium, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
This is just for the plenary ordinance?
Yes. Thank you. I see none. I need a motion to close.
Hold on.
All in favor?
What- oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody-
Where's that go?
Is that for complaints that they
No.
have in the community?
No, not yet.
No.
No, not yet.
Reading and approval for previous
Did you get a
minute.
motion to close?
So moved.
No, I'm sorry. I need a motion to
moved.
close.
Second.
And Heather, it's not on my agenda. Do we need a motion to approve? The issuance of the license? Thank you very much. Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Reading and approval of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of September 28th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Dangler is absent. Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent. Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Consideration of ordinance, public hearing, and final consideration. An ordinance authorizing the acquisition and acceptance of the donation of a portion of Block 208, Lot 2, on the official tax map of the City of Long Branch from RWJ Barnabas Health Incorporated. This ordinance was introduced on September 28, 2022, and authorizes the City of Long Branch to accept the donation of land and buildings from RWJ Barnabas Health Incorporated, known as a portion of Block 208, Lot 2, located on 3rd Avenue, and more specifically described on the map attached to the ordinance. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and speak clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. No? Okay, I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Vincent Lepore requesting 1-minute notification. 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Is any member of this council aware of any plans for the hospital parking garage to be sold to the city?
There are no such plans, as far as I know.
Are there any further plans for future buildings by the hospital to be donated to the city?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Are there any plans to make the hospital complex a future City Hall municipal complex?
Well, the property that is the subject of this ordinance is going to be used for some municipal uses. For instance, I think the plan is to put the municipal court there and also to move the health department there.
I find the ordinance problematic. The Atlantic Highlands Municipal Complex has served as a model for efficient centralization of government services. Perhaps the money allocated for these buildings would be better spent to buy the building the court is presently in, so as to keep as many government functions as possible within close distance, or to build a connecting building between City Hall and the library to accommodate centralized services. The ordinance is absolutely lacking as far as the buildings, securing ingress and egress to the buildings, particularly the court building. There is no location identified to the holding cells for the prisoners, and those holding cells certainly wouldn't be conducive next to an apartment complex. Furthermore, the access rights to the apartments retained by Monmouth Medical that crosses directly in front of the municipal court exposes both court employees and prisoner transporting to potential mishaps. Obviously, individuals going to the court or using the buildings will be parking at Fine Fair and along 3rd Avenue due to parking deficiencies. Some will probably pay to use the hospital garage. The $2 million from Murphy-Gopal and the $2 million from Pallone are the only dollar figures mentioned in the ordinance. Because this federal and state money was up for the grabbing, both Pallone and Murphy-Gopal dual grabbed it, not justifiably, and they're tossing it towards this. When Mayor Pallone says the local taxpayer will not be hit on these buildings, he is wrong. The local taxpayer is also a federal and state taxpayer. Better serving the local taxpayers is that these buildings be put on the tax rolls for ratables. Also, clearly lacking in this ordinance is the transparency on all the legal, architectural, engineering, and professional costs. The library months back incurred the taxpayers of Long Branch a portion of a bond in excess of $3.5 million to match a state grant. And now we're transferring technology and social services from the library. No, this is not good. The taxpayers are being made fools of. There is nothing here in this ordinance describing the increase in cost to the taxpayers from the increase in services at these proposed buildings. I'm requesting a no vote on this ordinance. The ordinance is not clear, it's not all-encompassing, and it's not transparent. Requesting a no vote.
Whatever you want, sure.
If you want to end the public portion, I'm happy to respond to that.
I need a motion to close.
So moved.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Council President, I just want to make it clear that this ordinance is the city accepting a donation of these buildings at no cost to the city. This is not an ordinance that establishes any specific use with regards to it, and I think the way I answered the questions was what the city's plans probably are. Understand that these the apartment buildings that we're getting are all empty. There is one section of it that is currently has been rehabilitated for the hospital, but all of the other buildings that we're getting, the city is getting, and of course, we haven't even gotten to a point yet where, and the city council will be obviously involved in all of that, the planning of what buildings will stay, what buildings will go, where the parking lots will go, and all of those things are part of a future plan. So it's totally disingenuous to say that this ordinance doesn't say where the jail cells are going to go, because it has nothing to do with where the jail cells are going to go. It has to do with the fact that the city is accepting the property that's being donated to it by the hospital. And of course, the ordinance just mentions the fact that there is a pool of money that has come to us from the state and federal government for us to then now rehabilitate and these buildings. With regards to the municipal court, there's an additional thing that we should understand. We currently, right now, rent the municipal court, and I believe it's, how much is it a month, Mike?
It's over 10.
It's $10,000 a month, I think. It's about $10,000 a month. So right off the bat, by moving the municipal court, we'll save $120,000 a year, and I'm not really sure the argument that we should instead buy a building downtown instead of take a donation of a building that doesn't cost us anything, and now we can rehabilitate it with state and federal funds. So I think that's, just in response to some of those comments.
Thank you. This is the second reading of ordinance 23-22 entitled an ordinance authorizing the acquisition and acceptance of the donation of a portion of block 208, lot 2 on the official tax map of the city of Long Branch from RWJ Barnabas Health Incorporated. I need a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler is absent. Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent. Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Ordinances for introduction. We've added a new ordinance on this evening. This is the first reading of ordinance 24-22 entitled an ordinance amending section 116-2 of the Code of the City of Long Branch beach fees. This ordinance amends the fees for the use of the City of Long Branch beaches. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for October 28th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler is absent. Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent. Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Public participation for resolutions and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If there is anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name and address clearly. For the record, you will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Hi, my name's Donna Shawn. Some of this was already covered by the officer, but I had prepared the speech, so I just kind of want to read it anyway.
For it.
I'm sorry, can you state your address, please?
525 Springdale Avenue. Mayor Pallone, I believe you're doing a wonderful job. Okay? Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for giving the residents of Springdale Avenue and the surrounding neighborhood the opportunity to express our concerns about the deterioration and safety of our neighborhood. We are fortunate to have leadership in both our local government and our police department that are fully engaged. I have lived in Long Branch for over 30 years. The primary purpose of our collective visit this evening is to underscore the rapid deterioration of our safety. This has been exhibited in very serious ways. The first is excessive speeding from the corner of Winter and Springdale down to Bath and from Bath to back. We greatly appreciate the stop signs and the attention that has been shown to our neighborhood. However, the problem is deeper. The Botico, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, the bar has seemingly contributed to attracting those who are prone to excessively bad behaviors, to state it kindly. The speeding, the drunkenness, and recent gunfire have brought us together this evening. We are empathetic to the owners and management of the bar. That corner, as we all know, has existed as a legal establishment in Long Branch for many years. Our mission is to live in safety. The world has changed dramatically over the past 3 years and has resulted in our neighborhood living in fear. It is our opinion that our local government, police department, and owner of the bar must also dramatically elevate their efforts to help curb the dangerous trend. And then another neighbor just was nervous to talk. He mentioned, due to the high traffic of this area, there have been recurring episodes of speeding and drag racing down Springdale Avenue. Additionally, there are many occurrences where cars drive by with subwoofer speakers that shake all the houses. There's been many complaints and calls to Long Branch Police Force about these disturbances, yet no action seems to have been taken. Due to the high traffic on Springdale Avenue, it is escalated to the point where violent crimes are now taking place in our neighborhood. He mentioned about the Friday night, all that you said already. As there are currently commercial businesses in the Springdale community which cause for high traffic levels, our ask to council is that Long Branch invest in remedies that will make the community feel safe. And some recommendations he made was camera surveillance to inhibit speeding, traffic light speedometers on Springdale Avenue, police presence Friday through Sunday, and increased security presence at the Botico Sports Bar. Okay, thank you for your attention and anticipated concern. Respectfully, Donna Shawn, a true Long Branch supporter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. I'm going to ask Mr. Brown, because I know that he's spoken to the manager of the
Yes.
tech as well. I know that there was a meeting with several of the residents about the crosswalks. I live a block away, so some of the things that you're experiencing, I experienced as well in terms of traffic and so forth. So we'll see what we're going to do, but go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Yes, thank you for your comments. I did have the opportunity on yesterday to speak with the manager at the Boutique Bar and Sports Bar. He's very cooperative, very concerned about the community, and very willing to enhance security at that location. So he's agreed to add an additional person outside in the parking lot just to make sure people are going in the bar properly, not making noise, at closing, coming out, keeping people quiet. So he's willing to do that. He's also going to make sure that people going in the bar at certain times, checking to see what they have, maybe check some bags and things like that. So he's very cooperative. He's here this evening, always available. And I just, I was struck by his willingness to make these types of adjustments or improvements, for the community. So one of the interesting things is, after I got done meeting him, I happened to walk out of the bar, and there was a car passing by with music like we were at a concert. I couldn't believe that the music was that loud. So I was able to get that individual's license plate. He's probably someone who lives right in that neighborhood, and I'm having the police follow up on that. Person was driving a pickup truck. The music was louder than I've ever heard music played in a vehicle. So that's something we're going to follow up on immediately. And please, I'll give you my cell phone. If there's an issue, you need to call us right away so that we can start working on those types of issues as well. Also, the manager, if necessary, he will hire off-duty police officers, if necessary, to be outside on some evenings. So, we're working on it. And
What are the chances of speed bumps being put in on Springdale?
well, I don't. I'm not a big fan of speed bumps. I think
that's actually an engineering question, and they're actually very loud.
Yeah.
Because I know you don't think of that, but that one of the complaints when they're put in neighborhoods is that every car that goes over it, you're going to hear. So, but we'll talk to the engineering department, because there are speed bumps and there are speed humps and there are traffic calming devices, but we'll certainly talk to them about it. Dips are even more dangerous. You're not going to like that noise.
Can't be any worse than we're listening to now. Thank you.
Well, we'll talk to engineering about it.
Sure.
Sure.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the manager for Buteco Sport Bars, and we tried to figure out the best way to keep the neighbors safe and us safe. So I already have more security for the parking lot. I talked to the guys for the trucks about the noise. So they're good with that. They say, I'm sorry for everything. And whatever you guys needed, please feel free to talk to me. And we figured out the best way to everyone keep happy. I have family too. I want to be safe, and I understand your complaints also. And anything, any idea, any suggestions, please let me know. We try to figure out, work with the city to grow the city, to get better city. So I'm sorry for what happened last weekend. It's something that's not my control, but we try to keep control in everything we can. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a little something to say. I get home a lot, like on Thursday evenings. I have to work on
Can you
afternoons.
please state your name and address for the record?
Excuse me?
Can you please state your name and address for the record?
Frank DeAngelis, I'm on Waverly Place.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I'm getting home late, it's like 11 o'clock, 11:30 sometime, there's a lot of drunk people coming out of the bar. And maybe you need to control before they get drunk like that. And I don't know if they're prostitutes coming out too, they're falling on the floor in the short, I'm just saying, I mean, that's what I see when I'm coming in and people are doing that. Sometimes there's a fight going on, but alcohol does that. So maybe the control of alcohol, I know other places do that. When they see somebody starting to get a little like this, they say, no more, you have to leave. So that might be.
That's what I would do. I take people home. I drive the people home when they drunk.
All right, because I see a lot of them, most of the time when they come out, they're staggering.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say that.
Hi. I'm Francine DeAngelis. So I live with Frank DeAngelis, the 300 block, and this is my first time at a city council meeting. I'm a young voter. I'm a millennial. Now, these are my neighbors. I grew up with them. This is a multicultural and very diverse neighborhood. I'm just speaking with regards to the drunk. We have lots of drunkards. We have a parking issue. This is a great establishment, I understand that, but this is a residential community, and the overflow of individuals is, it's insane. I travel a lot. It's hard to find parking. I know it's hard to find parking for my neighbors. There's too many cars. There's too many people. So maybe implement a quota or some sort of ratio for your patrons. I understand it's your business, but this is a residential community. I grew up there as a child. All of these individuals sitting in the audience, they have children. They're now adults. But, you know, they also have grandchildren. It's really not appropriate. So I'm also wanting to know, where is an ordinance or public policy that states that you can allow a bar, a commercial residence with a liquor license in a neighborhood, and specifically in Long Branch, in that block of Long Branch, because Long Branch has, you know, segmented areas. So that, you know, that's a question I think we all want to know.
I mean, that's a question for our city attorney. I think it's grandfathered in from when it was the Springdale Cafe.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so if it was there prior to the zoning ordinance, and if it was there legally and the license has been there, we don't have an ability to say, well, now we've decided that you can't be there anymore.
But I think it would be fair if you publish and you sent all of us this ordinance. So if it's grandfathered.
It's not an ordinance. There's a lot of ordinances that are involved, but it's been there for, and I don't know how long, but it's been there for decades, literally. So the answer is it's been there for a long time. You can't just decide all of a sudden that it can't be there.
I know that because we all live there, but it's 2022. So you're telling me that a grandfathered policy can't make an amendment?
Correct.
So for instance, you can't.
The answer is no. There's state laws. We can't just decide to say, well, you have a business that's been there for 4 decades, and we've decided now that we take it away from you. You can't do that. The answer is it's unconstitutional. You can't take somebody's business like that.
We're not asking for the. Oh, I'm not asking that. I'm asking, how did this start?
It started because whenever it is that it went there, it was legal for it to be there. So that's the answer. So it's been there. It was there when it started. It was legal. They get a liquor license every year. They're approved by the state of New Jersey. So it's been there and it's legal, so they get to stay there.
You know, the other example is, I mean, just because I'm from the neighborhood, you have Murphy's Bar next to the church on Division there. It's the same thing. They were grandfathered in, and it's still there.
Okay, so it's grandfathered in, so we're not going to worry about that. But what about your constituents?
Well, I don't know. If it changes the use, then can it still come back as a bar, or?
Well, the answer is that as long as it's continually operated, I don't know what the zoning is in the area, but as long as it's continually operated as a commercial, it's allowed. And the answer is once again, you can't just go in and say to somebody who's been in a location that when they got there it was legal to be there and they get their license renewed every year. You can't just go in and say, well, we're going to take your business away. You're just not allowed to. It's unconstitutional to do it. It violates state law and both the state and federal constitution. You just can't do it.
Okay. Well, I thank you, I think, maybe. You know, it's nothing.
It's not the answer you wanted, but it is just the answer.
Hello.
Hi, Debbie.
Deborah Clark, 510 Springdale Avenue. Yeah, I do have concerns with the bar, the traffic and everything like that, so it sounds good that you're going to hopefully increase security, make our neighborhood a little less crazy. Because I remember when moving on to Springdale Avenue, before you had it, I got very well acquainted with Melissa's friend at 2 o'clock in the morning, yelling down the street. My question, I just want to clarify with the shootings that have happened. I'm a lifelong resident of Long Branch. This one hit very close to home this weekend, starting on Waverly Place. So just to clarify, we're connecting all of these that have gone on these past few days together? Okay. Just because once the news finally got out after probably about the third one, nothing was mentioned as to what happened in our neighborhood. So not saying it needed to be, I just didn't know if that was an isolated incident or if this was just something that's going on in our town between certain people and now they're just finding neighborhoods to go into and terrorize. I hope that, I'm sorry that this is your first week in Long Branch and this is, you're welcome. But I do hope that this does get taken care of very quickly again. Because, like I said, I've lived here my entire life and never had anything happen this close to home. And it's kind of gotten me really shaken up.
Let me say that it's not about the neighborhood. It's about opportunities. The opportunity to have an impact on somebody who you're having an altercation with, riding by, seeing them at a particular location. So it could have been.
I know it's not the neighborhood. Here's my neighbors.
It could have been. It has nothing to do. It could be in Jackson.
Yeah.
It could be, anywhere. So it's not about the neighborhood. It's about those individuals involved in an altercation.
I just hope this gets wrapped up quickly and efficiently like you have promised us.
We're working on it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
Jeff Greenan, 507 Springdale. To the safety director's comments, I think it bodes to another conversation. He just said it caused the opportunity for that to happen. I think the high traffic in that area is what prone for something like this to happen. So I think we need the council to help regulate that area, whether it's surveillance, cameras, speed bumps, anything like that. We need something to help regulate the traffic in that area. There's two commercial businesses. One of them we know is a bar, and we need some help to regulate that. Whether it's Buteco hiring security, which we appreciate, but I do think we need to do something about the speed. We called Long Branch Police, I think about 6 months ago. They put up a speedometer to collect survey data. Nothing was done after that. Cars are speeding up and down the road all throughout the night. We mentioned the car with the subwoofer, which I appreciate we're going to take care of, but something has to be done about the speeding. Me and my girlfriend are going to have a kid in a few years. Our neighbor's having a kid in a month. Needs to be taken care of. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
My name is Mike Pearsall. I live at 382 Waverly Place. The shooting occurred right in front of my house. Really what I want to get down to is that how many cars that are taking up all our parking in the area. Now, there's so many people going into this small bar. I know that they have fire codes in Long Branch. Certain places are allowed so many people in there by these fire codes. Now, sometimes on weekends, all the parking, not the parking lot, forget that, that's filled. But coming down Waverly Place from Summer Street, because it bends around and it goes up to High Street, their cars lined up all the way down the road. Any parking spot on our area on Waverly Place, because Waverly Place goes right around the back of the, I call it the Springdale, whatever it is. But everything's taken up. I come home from going out to dinner with my wife. I got to park a block away from my house so I can get home in my house. What I'm trying to say is, I don't believe that the amount of people that are going in this bar is legal. There's definitely more people going in this bar than the fire codes allow in Long Branch. There's so many people by this fire code. How many people, I really don't know because I didn't investigate yet. But I'm going to find out how many people are allowed in this bar. Now, if it takes up going out to High Street on Waverly Place, lined up cars, the parking lot's way overfilled, Waverly Place is all filled up also. There's more people in that bar than there should be. Thank you.
Good evening, Robert Clark, 510 Springdale Avenue. Just a couple of suggestions regarding what you could do to assist us in the neighborhood. One, strict enforcement of the fire code, I think is important because it's not just Waverly Place. It spills onto Westbourne, and they park up one side of Westbourne. The town saw fit to offer residential parking permits for areas like the beachfront. Perhaps supporting the business, we could have residential parking permits near us. The other thing that could be easily done is a permanent decibel meter, because quality of life in the neighborhood, even regardless of the shooting, the constant thud, trying to sleep while that's going on. In the summer, we can't sleep with the windows open. You just have the constant, insistent beat coming out of there. So if we could come to an agreement with the owners on what the acceptable decibel level is after sound ordinance, after 10 o'clock, and monitor that, maybe then we could also just have some regular peace in the neighborhood. So fire code, address the parking, but definitely, regardless of the shooting that happened, the decibel level, I think, needs to be addressed, and that's a big quality of life issue in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Mr. Clark, what are the busy nights and the times?
Weekends.
Just
weekends. If we decide to go out, on a Friday night when I come home, there's times where my driveway is blocked on Westbourne.
So if it's Friday and Saturday night?
Correct.
And what time does it?
You know me, I'm rarely out that late. But if I pop out of my house, there's actually been times on Friday nights where I'll come out, like, for my deck or something at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and my car will be blocked in, because the way my driveway is, there's people that have already taken up the parking lot, Waverly, and they're coming down Westbourne. So, again, strict enforcement of the fire code would prohibit that, because they can't possibly be fitting that many people in that place.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Is this like open time? Go ahead. Vinny?
Request 1 minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. I've been coming to these council meetings quite regularly since 2003. I go back in this city a long, long time. I stated it in 2017, and I'll state it again now, because many people have reminded me in the past 3 days that I was correct. It's now time for the state police to take command of the Long Branch Police Department, because quite frankly, the crime in this city is becoming overpowering. Not that the police aren't doing their job, it's just that the crime is becoming more intense, and the frequency of it, requiring the state police to be here on many occasions. They might as well take command of our police department. Mr. Martin, on the audit, in the most recent tax billing cycle that began on August 1st, 2022, what is the approximate amount of new property taxes from improvements that are allowed to be diverted from city school purposes to municipal purposes under any and all active abatements and RABs?
It's a pretty exact number you're asking for. I'd have to research that and get back to you.
I'll put it in an Oprah tomorrow for the record.
Lovely.
Mr. Reynaud, in your remarks after I spoke on ordinance 2322, you should look at the announcements on the Long Branch website of Mayor Pallone for the purposeful intent and use of the buildings in ordinance 23. You'll realize what a fool you just looked like. Ms. Wittes, at the September 14th council meeting, you abstained from the consent agenda until you were informed that your vote was needed for an appropriation in Resolution 229, to which you voted yes. Ms. Wittes, tonight, can you please tell us your reason for the record for your abstaining from the rest of the agenda resolutions?
I believe I abstained because I don't personally own property on Broadway, but my deceased husband's family did, and I didn't want any type of conflict with the Lower Broadway development.
All right, so it had to deal with Resolution 226, the Kushner Broadway resolution. Miss Anita Vogt, on August 24th, you were present for the workshop, but you did not appear for the council meeting. As I and others were proceeding to the council chambers outside, you were overheard telling people you were leaving the building to meet visitors that came to visit you. May I remind you, Ms. Vogt, you're here to do the business of the city, and I and others came here that evening to do business with this city at a council meeting. All of us here have families, friends, and visitors that we could be paying attention to rather than doing here the business of the city, but we chose to come. Anita Vogt, you literally spit in the face of the taxpayers with that remark. And you spit in the face of the people in the lobby there that overheard you. They felt insulted, and properly so. I don't know who the hell you think you are by your conduct at these council meetings.
1 minute warning.
But shame on you, Anita Vogt. Shame on you. I'll say it before, and I'll say it again. You epitomize junk government.
Is there anyone else? Yeah, please come forward.
Okay, guys, so I don't have a complaint tonight. I actually came here tonight, Rice. You all know me. I don't give my address. I actually wanted to come here and thank the city and for certain things they have done. Number one, you guys have cleaned up the creek. DPW did an amazing job cleaning up the creek at the end of Bella's Plaza. They took down a ton of dead trees. Like, the birds are so happy. Like, I cannot believe the amazing job that DPW did. Number two, I did take some notes. Number two, hang on one second. I got thrown off by all the complaints because I have comments about that too, which I did not intend on. But, so also, this community garden. We have an amazing community garden here in Long Branch on 7th Avenue. The city has done an amazing job. Carol, Jacob, everyone has done an amazing job at redistributing all the food from the community garden to combat food waste and food insecurity. Tonight, we served about 100 people at the train station in Long Branch with Carol's help and Jacob's help and the community garden's help. It's an amazing resource. We have a community garden on 7th Avenue. Everyone in Long Branch is welcome to get a community plot and raise a garden and redistribute that food. And I am so grateful for all the workers that have given their time above and beyond their time to that in Long Branch. They work their hours, but they also bake foods and help redistribute. And we redistribute through local community groups. If you have food insecurity, please reach out. There are people there that will help. Carol at the Garden, the city, Jersey Shore Food Not Bombs. Like, I'm so grateful. I cannot describe the level of wealth or the level of filth that was at the creek and the work that DPW did. It was a dirty job. It was digging up layers and layers of trash and getting rid of dozens of dead trees, plastic bags. Nobody wants to do that work, and I'm grateful for the city for helping me work with DPW to do that. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done over there. It would be an amazing resource for us. And if anybody wants to help with the cleanup, I would appreciate that. I did not want to come here tonight with any complaints. I don't have any. I usually have a lot. Hello, new public safety director. We will be talking a lot because I do have a lot of complaints. But I grew up on Winter Street. I saw a lot of you here complaining about Springdale. And I heard the city's response. And you know what? Our neighborhoods have been what our neighborhoods have been for decades. And we see a lot of new people move in here. Okay? And I just want to say...
1 minute warning.
Thank you. You want to come into Long Branch, you want to move in here, research where you're moving. You want to move on to Springdale, you want to move into that neighborhood, research that there are bars there. Research the neighborhood that you're going into. I did not always grow up in the most safe place. I grew up in Woodrow Wilson in the 80s. I grew up with that stuff. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying please don't come into our neighborhoods and think that just because you decide to buy a home in a place that everything will change.
Can you please address the council?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for redirecting me, Rose.
Thank you.
But yeah, we have a lot of things that we need to change in our neighborhoods, and we should feel safe. But don't think that you just showing up here as city council is going to change that in an instant.
5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, DPW and the community garden. Yeah, I do. I'm 47.
Excuse me.
I do know what I'm talking about.
Excuse me.
Hello, Tracy Brown, 209 Liberty Street. Mr. Broughton?
Yes.
I wouldn't worry about Mr. Lepore saying about bringing in the state police. you just got here. I have faith in you. And you can't stop a criminal from being a criminal. But while we're talking about traffic, being that I'm on Liberty, just about on Joe Line, a lot of traffic, a lot more traffic, especially since the new places are being built. And the speed limits are outrageous. Someone said about putting a dip in the road. There's actually a dip in the road where they dug up for the sewer systems, the sewage. The trucks that hit that sound like bombs going off. You don't want to dip in the road. But my question is, there is a camera on top of the light that's on Liberty and Joe Line that faces Liberty Street. Is that a camera for... So it just monitors when a car comes to the light. Can we get a camera? Because the amount of illegal right-hand turns, the amount of speeding when the school buses are out there. I mean, I complained to the police department a few years ago where they were actually passing school buses while kids were coming off the bus trying to cross the road. So is there a way to put a camera there to see all the action that goes on?
I don't believe that, you know, there was a while and everybody probably got a ticket because everybody in the state got a ticket when they had red light cameras. And I'm pretty sure that they passed state legislation that says that you can't use those cameras in traffic enforcement anymore. That doesn't mean that we can't use it to observe, but I just don't think that we can base a traffic ticket on that.
Okay. All right, that was my question. Thank you.
Thanks, Trace.
Is there anyone else?
Excuse me, I didn't use up my 5 minutes.
No,
Could I
you
go-
can't, no, you can't go back, sorry.
Sorry, Wayne.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, I need a motion to close the public participation.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I will now ask Madam Clerk if there were any changes to the list of resolutions.
No changes have been made.
Thank you. We can take the listed resolutions as a consent agenda. The motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler is absent. Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent. Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Okay. Miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilman Viera?
Good evening, and thank you. First, I want to thank Giovanni for coming and reading the Italian-American Heritage. Did a great job, as usual. And I want the residents of Long Branch to stay safe and listen to our new director. We have one of the best police forces around, and I know what your concerns are. We know there's plenty of issues there on the Springdale Avenue already. We've been working on that. We put a four-way stop sign already, as you've seen. And speed bumps don't really work because of the snow plows, and we'll figure out what our engineers does. But speed bumps with the snow and the winter stuff, as they're plowing the streets. The problem that you guys have, I have the same problem on the other side, on the high school side. Speeding, music, has been going through my whole life there for over 40 plus years. And it hasn't gotten any better. It's that we can't just put a police officer on every street that we have a complaint on, because that's most of the part of the city. We up here, we can't really do too much about it. We can hire the professionals to do the job that they're qualified for. So leave it on Mr. Brown's hand. He'll take care of it, and feel safe that we'll everything we're doing for the best of the city residents here. And thanks for coming. It's nice to have a full house here. I like it. It's beautiful. Thanks for coming, addressing your concerns. We really appreciate it. And good night with that.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hope?
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to second the thank you to all of you that came out tonight, and just applaud you for the way you presented your concerns, the way the meeting ran in terms of everyone being able to express their opinion. I want to just give a vote of confidence to our new director. coming in a very proactive way to say, you know, I think we were all shocked with the events that happened, and to come forward and say, this is the way we're dealing with it, and to say he can, wherever you want him to come and speak, and share his thoughts and talk with you about the concerns. My applause to you. Wonderful. We're looking forward to a wonderful time with you as the director of for public safety. So, welcome, and you have your challenges ahead of you. So, again, my thanks, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Mayor Plone?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to thank everyone for being here this evening and for all your comments and suggestions. I think it really was a very productive meeting, so thank you for being here. As Mr. Broughton said, he's available to meet with anyone. I am as well. I'll stay after the meeting, so if anybody wants to talk, if we want to plan on getting together, let's do that. Any way we can help or follow up on any of the suggestions that were made, we'll certainly do. I did want to just mention a few events that we have coming up in the next 2 weeks. At Jackson Woods, we're having a Halloween celebration on October 29th for the kids. We'll have trick-or-treating, a costume parade, activities, free refreshments, and are the windmill hot dogs free? And free windmill hot dogs. The city is also currently running our annual toy drive where people are encouraged to drop off unwrapped gifts for children newborn to 10 years of age. Toys will be given out at the toy giveaway event on December 17th. For drop-off locations, just go to longbranch.org. And we'll be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month reception Thursday, October 20th. That's next Thursday, not this, a week from today, from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Arts and Cultural Center, which is uptown, not far from any of the neighbors here on Broadway and Branchport. So if you haven't been there, please stop by. It's a free event with live entertainment. We're going to have flamingo dancers, a mariachi band, and more. There's a Hispanic Heritage exhibit that's on display until November 10th. That's open 3 days a week during the day. So again, thank you. Appreciate your being here, and have a great week.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And I too would like to thank everyone for being here this evening. I want you to know that, you know, it's unfortunate what's going on right now, but thank you to the director for all your work and the police department and detectives' hard work in trying to resolve this issue. But also know that we don't need to come out for issues, you know, for things to happen to come here. Please know we're here for all of you. We have council hours whenever you'd like to speak about something. Mike, you complained about the parking. Please come to us and let us know what's going on in your neighborhood so we can address those issues. We want you to be happy in Long Branch, and we will make every effort to do that. And Rice, I want to thank the Food Not Bombs for everything they're doing and helping the people who are food insecure, and appreciate that. And with that, I have a cold, so I don't want to speak too much. So I want to thank everyone again, and have a good evening, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I have a lot of anxiety.